attorney Candace Colucci. She's your guide to hurricane-related issues, property insurance law, and more sizzling legal topics. Get ready for a lively legal experience. Make your Saturday sweet with Legal Candy on WTAN FM 106.1 and AM 1340.
This is Tan Talk Radio Network.
It's now time for Connecting Caregivers with author, speaker, caregiver advocate, and talk show host Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for caregivers.
The caregivers around the world today, it's time to lift you up. It's time to celebrate. Good afternoon and welcome to Connecting Caregivers with me, Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers with love, laughter, and lessons learned. On the show where you can find help and hope. Boy, that's a mouthful, isn't it? And today we have Mr. Ed on the boards. How you doing, Ed?
Howdy, howdy.
All good?
So far, day's not over.
Well, it's always good when I'm here. You know that, right? At least you get entertained. You have a few laughs.
Absolutely.
That's what I said yesterday when I was at Arden Court. I said, give yourself a round of applause for showing up, caregivers. I go, because if not, you can't learn new things, meet other people, and you can't be entertained by me. They said when it was over, you should be a comedian. Because I'll tell you, caregivers do some pretty funny things. So we did have some good laughs in between there. Unfortunately, my best friend, my co-host, and my sidekick, not psychic, Lynn Thornley's not here today. She's a little under the weather, but on the road to recovery. So hopefully she'll be here next week. Yes, and today I have Darryl Ott with me from the Home Care Advocacy Network. Welcome.
Hello, and thank you so much.
And my friend Michelle Lowack and her two grand miracles.
Yes.
Braylee and Aubrey. So welcome, ladies.
What do you say, ladies?
Thank you. You're welcome. So the first thing I want to do is give a shout out to our newest listeners. We have Violet in Clearwater, we have Nancy in Largo, and we have Janie in St. Pete. And like I always say, there's plenty of room around the Connecting Caregivers table for more listeners, whether you listen when the show is live on AM, FM, or on YouTube, or on Facebook, or my website, or wherever they'll take us. We're just here to help you in any way we can, because we know your caregiving experience can be exhausting and confusing, and it's hard to find resources.
What is your website?
My website is lindaburhans.com. It's pretty easy to remember that. But I want you to know at all times, if you have a question about anything, you can contact me through the website. You can call me up at 727-365-8383. And if I don't have the answer, I will find the answer for you. Because I am so blessed to be in this Tampa Bay community where there are businesses and professionals that want to make a difference.
So you have some connections?
Together. Excuse me?
You have some connections?
Yeah, I have a couple of connections.
Got the hookup girl?
I was saying to my sister was asking me yesterday, what about your future, Linda? I was like, I know enough people.
Yeah, we're good.
I'll come take care of you, Linda.
Yeah, when my time comes, I'm okay. I'm okay.
I got your back.
Yeah. But I also am preparing for my aging. You know, I just had my bathroom remodeled, had the tub taken out, so I could just have a walk-in, you know, a really hard toilet because I'm a tall girl, you know, a little bidet.
Nice.
Yeah. Well,
you went the bidet route.
Yeah. Well,
nice.
You know what? So far, so good. But, you know, I never want to get a urinary tract infection or whatever. And those things happen as you get older. Sometimes it's a little more difficult to. So I'm being prepared, as I hope you all are. In whatever way. And I'm not saying you have to have your bathroom remodeled, but you got to make sure that
I'm not saying you're not.
Yeah, you have to have grab bars in there. Yeah. And you have to have precautions, and you have to get rid of those throw rugs. So that's a conversation for another day.
Who would you reach out to if you needed to get something remodeled, especially if you're a veteran?
Oh, Arlene Grasso. They know what they're doing. She has the name of her company is Access and Design. She is also the head of the Fall Prevention Coalition for the whole state of Florida, which just started out as a little team thing here. Yeah.
Arlene's energy is boundless.
Yes, she's unbelievable.
I need to look and see, like, when I look up, I can't even remember all the letters and all the distinctions.
I know, after her name.
After her name.
It's like an alphabet.
It is an alphabet soup,
and
yes.
Yeah.
But
She
yeah,
has a
they're
lot of
absolutely
acronyms.
fabulous, and they do a lot for veterans.
They do.
She's on my website, so just go to lindaburhands.com. You can find out all her information. All right, before we start chatting further, the website is open for registration for my next conference. This will be conference number 8. So it's May 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's totally virtual. It's totally free. It takes you like 60 seconds to sign up at the website. And the website is connectingcaregiversconference.com. And I don't expect you to sit there for 3 days listening to 18 speakers solid, because it's tough for me to do and I'm running it. But anyone who registers for the conference, within 30 days, you'll receive all the videos of the conference. So you can watch it when it's comfortable for you, or when there might be a topic that you didn't think would interest you, and 3 weeks later, all of a sudden, that's something you need to know about. Or you might want your sister to hear this part of the conference, or your mother, or whoever it is. So please go to connectingcaregiversconference.com. I'm excited to say, as of this morning, I think we were up to 205 registrants
Nice.
so far. So that's very exciting. And remember, it's free for caregivers. You don't have to leave your house. You don't have to find anybody to take care of your loved one. Every afternoon at lunchtime, we have Cindy and Christina from Adaptable Equipment Corner, and they're going to show you the latest and the newest gadgets and adaptable clothing and different things that will help you and your loved one make things a whole lot easier.
The information in there is priceless.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So, Darryl, I'm so glad that you're here today.
Same. Great to be
We
here.
met about a month and a half ago, I guess.
Yes.
And you're new to this little area, but tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to be doing what you're doing now.
Sure. So I've been in Tampa about 11 years now, and in the Tampa Bay region, mostly on the beaches and the Barrier Islands. I started off my career at the Pillsbury Company.
Really?
I did. I've met the doughboy.
Okay, boy.
And Regis Philbin used to be the judge for their bake-off that they had
Really?
every year. My job was to pick Regis up from the
Oh, what
airport
fun.
and bring him back to Pillsbury.
Okay.
Fantastic guy. No ego. Shorter than me, which is hard to do since I'm 5'6". But Regis was a great guy.
Yeah, he was a great
he would
guy.
stay there for a couple of
Alright.
days with us and cut it up with the employees, and it was a good
I
time.
used to live in New York, so I used to go to the show a lot.
Oh, you
and
did?
all that stuff, yeah.
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 He was down to earth.
Yeah.
So anyway, I left there because somebody in my family got sick, and the way that they were treated was like somebody tying their shoes. Oh, by the way, you have cancer. You'll go see the nurse on the way out. And I had been looking for a career change, and when I watched this person go through this care and the callousness that they received, like another sheep in the herd,
Yeah.
I decided to get back into healthcare. So I went back to school. I became a CNA. I became an EMT. I rode around on the ambulances. I eventually became an LPN. I graduated nursing school with my RN. I was a working nurse for about 5 years. And then I went back to school to help create the policies for the nurses instead of follow them blindly, which I did not agree with a lot of them.
Right.
Coming from a clinician and bringing that behind the scenes has helped me a lot, because
Yeah.
I see things through the clinician's eyes.
Exactly.
And that's what got me here. And so I've done the corporate fun, and I've been in the healthcare system for a long time, but I want to do something out of passion for me and my heart.
Mhm.
My partner
And
and
it's
I.
more one-on-one.
It is. And we tailor it to the person. We're here to help seniors in any way they can. We're not a corporation. We're just really here to help them.
Okay, and what for our listeners that don't even know what home health is?
Oh.
Right? I didn't know what home health was when I was taking care of my mother. You don't know.
Well, it's everything under the sun. If you need somebody to just go for a walk, if they need to have some socialization and get outside so they're not
Companionship.
isolated, and companionship, we offer that. We offer transportation services. If they want to go get their hair cut, if they want to go shopping. And a lot of times people don't like to drive any longer.
Oh,
So
they can't. Oh, they shouldn't be.
exactly. And we fit into that bucket. And so we have no minimum hours required to help a senior. We help them for whatever time they need help. So we can also do personal care with bathing and showering and
Okay.
medication management. We can do that as well.
Okay.
We do offer hospice respite for a spouse or family. If they need to go do things for a couple hours, we can sit in. We also pet sit.
Really?
We do. And we do light housekeeping. Whatever the senior needs, it depends on them.
Yeah.
If they're mobile and agile, we can do things with them. If they're not, we can do things for them. Whatever they need. Sometimes it's just companionship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just not being alone, or just as somebody to be helping me a little bit
Right.
with my lunch, or picking up some groceries for me, or
Yes.
just throwing in my nightgown in the washer machine.
Easy peasy stuff.
Something
Yes.
like that could really make a difference to me as a senior.
But also the companionship piece, the socialization piece. A lot of them watch TV. And if they can't drive and can't get out, they don't really have social interaction. So at the very least, when our companion caregivers go there, they're giving them socialization and chatting with them and making them feel like they're not alone.
Well, yeah, because sometimes people don't talk to anybody.
No, they'll talk to their TV.
Yeah. I mean, they
Yeah.
have services for people that will call them once a day. Healthcare buddies and all that to see if
They
they're
do.
okay. But that's just a phone call.
Yeah.
You need to see a person. I really feel you need to see a
Interaction.
person. You need to touch their leg, their arm, their hand, whatever.
Yes.
And I think for families that think, okay, mom's okay by herself. Yeah, maybe she is okay by herself. Maybe she can do most stuff herself. But she needs somebody to come in and see her socially, and she needs another set of eyes because you're not there.
That's exactly it. And we like to service some clients where the children are out of state.
Yeah.
And so we're the eyes and the ears for their parents. And, as a proud adult myself, if my child was asking me something, I might not tell the exact truth.
No way.
Yes, I ate fine yesterday and I can see everything
Yeah.
wonderfully.
Yeah, I'm not telling you my leg is bruised where I fell down, or that dad didn't poo in 3 days.
Correct. So if you have one of our companions going there and physically laying eyes on them and interacting with them, they can then relate that to the children.
And sometimes too, that person also may need better food or some more nourishment or something, and not until somebody from the outside comes in are they able to see that.
Correct. And so I have somebody we take care of, and she has her groceries delivered through Instacart.
Okay.
Well, that's not always correct. And she does, when they do a lot of replacements for her. And so she doesn't always get the correct amount of food or the correct food that she wants. So we take her now. We've stepped in. We actually bring her to the Publix. She likes to go in. She's mobile. So she goes in and we shop with her and she picks the things out.
That's fabulous.
Yeah. And so she gets everything she exactly wants, and she loves cheesecake.
Does she?
So
And it gives her a little feeling of independence.
it does. And she gets to interact
Yeah.
because she's out socially. She's
Who
not
doesn't want to
isolated.
go to Publix? There's good stuff in Publix.
And she's got a sweet tooth, and they have plenty.
Oh my goodness, they do. The other day was my great grandson's second birthday. Besides a huge cake, my daughter got this decadent platter, it was called, with chocolate covered strawberries and little cheesecakes and little tiramisu, and it was oh my god.
I love it when it says decadent.
Yeah, decadent. It's a good word, I guess. It's a good word.
It is.
So, what do you think the hardest part for caregivers? How to ask for help?
Oh boy, the caregiver journey is a long one, and it can be very personal. If you're taking care of one person for a certain amount of time, you intimately get involved with their life a lot of times. I think one of the hardest parts for caregivers is watching the decline. If they have a chronic disease or as they age, it's difficult to watch that happen to somebody that you kind of consider your friend and that you've been taking care of. And so at Home Care Advocacy Network, we offer a lot of support for our caregivers.
Yeah.
We have a weekly luncheon where we let them come in and talk about things that are going on. And then, of course, I have an open door policy as well. So the caregiver stress and burnout is a real thing,
Well,
and you
the
really
thing is
need to address it.
And not just, I used to work with a home health care company years ago, Harmony Home Health. And I can remember there was this one woman that had 2 clients for a long time. And both of them passed away in a week.
Yes.
And was hysterical in the office.
Yes, it affects them.
Okay, so not just did she lose 2 friends, she lost her job.
Well, that too, yes.
She lost her job because
Yes.
you're not going to just have a new client the next day. Well, we ended up giving her office work to do. So she would be with us.
Right.
And she would be able to supplement the income until we could find. And she was a bomb caregiver, so finding a new client, everybody wanted her.
Right.
But it was emotionally, it was very tough.
It is. And if you try to switch caregivers on some longtime clients, they will balk because they only want that one person.
Well, I
so they
would
treat
too.
them like a family member. They really do.
Yeah.
So it's tough on the caregivers to watch that and watch them decline.
But we wanted to think of these people that we're employing too. If we appreciate them, they're going to want to stay with you.
That's it exactly. So you
We
support
need
them
to
any way you
appreciate
can.
these people, what
Yes.
they're doing, because
So you think kindness matters?
kindness definitely matters. This is Michelle's going to hand out kindness bars.
From the happiness fairies, because kindness matters. You just nailed it.
It does.
It does not matter what the situation. If you take care of your people, they will stay.
Yes.
And if you don't, they will go away to your competitor.
Yeah.
You can
And you
throw
will
a rock
regret
and
the
hit
way
somebody else.
I was
who
just
will do
going to
it.
say,
Yeah.
you will find them at your biggest competitor the next week.
Probably.
But then you can find if you do it the right way, and if you support your employees,
They will stay and they will
stay,
serve your clients
and
well.
it'll be a good for everybody all around.
They have to feel supported.
Yeah.
As a former caregiver, I felt that way as well. Like you have to have somebody has to have your back, and sometimes you need an ear to listen to.
Yeah. And
I was
sometimes
just
you know
going to
what?
say, yeah.
They have some really, darn irritable customers.
They do.
That they have to deal with.
They do.
And I need to hear them out.
Yes.
Because their jobs are not easy.
And it's okay. You can come into the office and yell at me all you need
Yeah.
to. You can take your frustrations out on me. I'm ready for
But
it.
it's important because you know what? Here I am taking care of Mrs. Jones every day. I got to go home and cook dinner for my family.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
got to help my kids with their homework. Or maybe I got to help taking care of my mom. So I want the people out there to really appreciate the professional caregivers. I appreciate all caregivers, the family caregivers, but the family caregiver has to appreciate the professional caregiver and vice versa. Because it takes a village to take care of someone in their senior years, especially if they have Alzheimer's or dementia or Parkinson's or whatever the deal could be. So, because those are all things that I can't tell you it's going to get better. If you have cancer, maybe it's going to get better. I can't tell you about all that other stuff, but the journey that you're on with it can be better depending on how you handle it.
And that's what we try to step in to do.
Yeah.
We do it with heart and empathy and dignity and respect, just like
people
you
know
would
that.
want to be treated. It's the golden rule.
Exactly.
So,
You know what? We're all the same. We're
We are.
exactly the same. We want our health. We want to be loved. We want a roof over our head. We may have different hobbies or interests, but basically we're exactly the same. And when you realize that,
mhm,
first of all, you make a whole lot of new friends. And second of all, you're not judging anybody.
correct.
So I think that's an important thing to take into consideration. And once again, we all want to stay home if we can.
The AARP says 92% of seniors would rather stay at home.
Yeah.
So it's a very growing. We know how people are getting older in this country. It's going to happen very rapidly. I'm an example.
I'm an example. I'm 72 this year. I'm an example.
So my parents are in their 80s and they're going to need some care soon too. So
Yeah.
I'm also doing this to help them with their maze
Yeah.
of the healthcare system. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because you want that all to be in place. Because the best thing you can do is preparation. And if you're, just try it. Just give it an opportunity to yourself to be able to breathe. And you may not need somebody a bunch of hours a week now. But if you prepare and you hook up with a company ahead of time, and they get to see who your loved one is and where you live and what their likes and dislikes are and what kind of needs do they have. Then when the time comes, you're ready. And you're not under that stressful situation. My one girlfriend, she had to have surgery. She was taking care of her mom full time.
Mm.
And it was a big panic. Well, anybody could have, you don't know if somebody's going to have surgery or whatever. So I always suggest that you try to prepare about everything with caregiving, because the more prepared you are, the easier it is.
100% agree. And
Call Darryl, let him come meet with him.
I'd love the opportunity. I do introductions every time. I don't just send somebody blindly to somebody's house. We go and we visit and we sit and we talk and we make sure that they're going to be a good fit for each other before any care begins.
Yeah.
And I don't mind if it's 10 different caregivers. Everybody has their own particular likes and dislikes. So however many people it takes for you to find a match that you're comfortable with is what we will do.
Well, it's very funny. Somebody told me recently they had this employee that went into this house to help this family and everything. And she was there like 3 or 4 days, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the family called up and said, she is absolutely fabulous. She's just absolutely fabulous, but please don't ever send her again.
What?
Like what? She talks too much.
Oh, see?
She talks too
Oh,
much.
yeah.
She said she bathed my mother great. She made breakfast
But
great.
she won't shut
did.
up.
But my mother's a quiet kind of person.
Yeah.
You know,
Way
so
overwhelming.
you have to find the right match.
You do.
You have to, because then they send her to somebody else that was delayed to talk all day long.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep, that's very important.
So, but she said, never did I hear that. She's fabulous. Everything's great. Don't ever send her back. So you never know.
You never know.
That happens often.
So, Darryl, where can our listeners find you?
You can go to hcanclearwater.com, Home Care Advocacy Network of Clearwater.com.
Okay, and I will put all the information in the show.
Thank you.
For everybody. Like I say, you want to be prepared, and you don't want to have burnout, because you want to be able to be the daughter, not the bather. You want to be the wife, not the person that's bugging them about doing something else, doing their little chair exercises, where somebody else can come in and they'll do it for them right away.
The bathroom is a big one.
Yeah.
We help there, and that helps a lot of families.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable, but it happens.
Yeah.
People still have to go to the bathroom.
Well, Lynn always says that her husband wouldn't take any help in the shower until she hired a nice young girl. He was ready for his shower every week. So, you have to see what works. You know?
So recently we had a client, and we were taking care of the wife, and then the husband got sick. Well, we had introduced a backup to that family for the wife. So when the husband got sick, that backup slid right in.
Perfect.
The family knew them, trusted them, and left her alone with the mom. So
that's a big deal.
Doing in advance is a big deal.
Yeah, I think so. Well, now it's time to hear from our wonderful partners, because you know the deal. If you don't hear from them, you don't hear from me. So don't go away. We'll be right back on Connecting Caregivers Radio.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Arden Courts is not just a place to live. It's a place to call home. Residential living combined with quality caregiving. This is the philosophy behind Arden Courts. Communities created exclusively for individuals with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia who would benefit from a safe and structured environment. For additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides, call 888-478-2410 to locate a community nearest you. Inquire about our educational seminars, resource library, or support groups, or simply feel free to ask questions you may have about Alzheimer's and related dementias. At Arden Courts, we know, we understand, and we can help, because memory care is all we do. Remember, call 888-478-2410 for additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides.
Are you getting older, or are you taking care of somebody who is? Getting older creates new problems you probably never imagined. One of the big ones is, how do you pay for care? Care in your home, care in an assisted living facility, or care in a nursing home. Did you know that nursing home care in our community can cost up to $12,000 per month? For the last 33 years, our offices help families access benefits, including Medicaid, VA, and PACE, to help pay for the cost of long-term care. Regardless of what your assets are or what your income is, you can qualify for these benefits. Proper planning and guidance are absolutely necessary to avoid being wiped out. Let us help. If you are in care or heading in that direction, we can help solve that problem. Take action now to obtain benefits to pay for the cost of care. Here are the 4 things that you need to do. 1, get a new power of attorney. Your old one probably isn't good enough. Get a healthcare surrogate and a living will. 3, get an estate plan that will not disqualify you from benefits. And 4, get a plan to qualify for Medicaid, PACE, or VA benefits to pay for the long-term care costs. Call us today for a free consultation, 727-539-0181, or go to flmedicaid.com and download our free book on Medicaid and planning for long-term care. I'm Sean Scott. I'm here to help.
guaranteed to make you laugh through your tears. Linda Burhan's book, Good Night and God Bless, is filled with humor and heartfelt inspiration to aid anyone facing the challenge of caring for a loved one at the end of life. Her story offers hope for human strength and understanding of weaknesses during a difficult time. Life doesn't normally prepare us to become a loved one's caregiver. When it happens, it's usually sudden. A diagnosis of an illness, age-related frailty, dementia, and life suddenly is anything but normal. And because we don't even know what we don't know, where do we turn to for help or guidance? In Connecting Caregivers, Answers to the Questions You Didn't Know You Needed to Ask, Linda offers information, education, and inspiration from her own experience and from experts whose advice, practical tools, and personal stories will empower and guide you. Make sure to add these inspiring books to your collection today. Available on Amazon.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And we are back. I just wanted to say, if you looked on Facebook and LinkedIn and everything, we were supposed to have another guest on the show today, Vijay Body from Care at One, which is a new app. But he forgot he had a wedding to go to today. So he will be on the show next week. So I was talking to my friend Michelle, and she said, "Oh, my grand miracles." We know these are her two grand miracles here. Are visiting, and they'd love to come down to the show. And I said I would love to have them on the show because we've met before, right? We've done stuff. You guys have met Charlie. We went to the movies last time you were here, did some good stuff. But they've been spending a lot of time with seniors.
They have been. They have been our happiness fairies for the last, 70 hours. And the residents don't want to let them go.
So what do happiness fairies do?
Spread kindness to everyone in the building, and
I bet you they smile just when they see you coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like as soon as it's so nice for children to be with seniors because seniors love kids. I remember when my mother lived in Freedom Square and she lived in independent living and Skylar was like 5, whatever. And she would wear a princess outfit. And just walk through the dining room, and everybody would just be so thrilled, so absolutely thrilled. And what else have you done with the seniors?
What didn't you do with them? Did you do some nails?
yes.
What else?
We colored. We made stuff. We
What'd you
Had
do on
fun.
What'd you do on New Year's Eve with them?
had a party.
Yep.
Everybody likes a party.
So no matter if they were in wheelchairs or if they were on walkers, you were still dancing with them, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Because when there's a will, there's a way. You can figure it out. I'm sure you know that from your grandmother.
That's right.
What other stuff did you do with them this week, Braylee? What did you do with the residents? Did you learn anything about shells?
Yes.
What did you learn about shells?
I don't know what she learned about shells, but I saw that video of that woman with the shells. Now, does she live there?
She does, and
I some of those shells, I've never seen shells like that ever before.
wait till you see what I post today, because just before we left, there is the shell that she was talking about, the $1 million shell. It's 1.2 million
years old.
What? Years old?
It's the only one in the
Yes.
country.
Oh my goodness.
And you got to hold it. She ran Weeden Island for many, many, many years
Oh.
and is like the savant of shells and orchids.
And we got shells from the Atlantic Ocean and the
Gulf of
And-
Mexico.
Yeah.
Yep. She
Nice.
marked them for him. Knows all the difference, right?
mm-hmm.
And I like to see someone like that is still pursuing their passions. So maybe she can't go out and collect shells anymore.
She
but
does go out and collect
does
shells.
she?
Yep. She just got, in fact, they were concerned yesterday afternoon when she didn't come down for dinner because they wanted to see the shell. And they said, she's not answering her door. And I have a painting from one of the former residents that God called home that I would go in and do the serenity prayer with her every day. And when God called her home, her son gifted me one of her paintings that she did. Without my glasses, I can't read. I did not know ever going into her room. The label on it is Serenity with her name.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no coincidences in this life.
No.
But who else? What else did you do with the residents and some of the residents that love you? What is one of the others that's living his passion through artwork? What'd you just get that you opened up right before you left?
Oh, Rhett.
Yeah.
A guy who loves
A gentleman,
to do art.
Yep. And what does he do?
He makes a lot of stuff out of recycled
things.
What were some of the parts that were in it?
Plastic bottles.
Like cans,
what kind of nuts?
screws, stuff like that.
Oh, pistachios, shells.
Yeah.
All different things.
For a
That's
flower.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So does it show you as kids that even though people are older, they can still do interesting stuff and they're interesting people?
Yeah.
Because I think enough kids don't get time to hang out with seniors. And I think seniors got a lot of good stuff going on.
They do.
Sometimes you might have to remind them or bring back memories. You know, I say to families many times when they're having a function and no one has seen mom maybe in a year. And maybe mom has had some decline. Maybe mom was in a chatterbox before. My suggestion is to always find a quiet part of the house where mom can go there and people can just sit with her like one-on-one. And everybody has computers today. So if mom was born in Brooklyn, print out some pictures of Brooklyn. If mom was a Girl Scout leader, print out some pictures of Girl Scouts and put her troop number on. Mine's 1410 if you ever need to know. But then when someone comes in, they can just pick up a piece of paper and say, I didn't know you were a Girl Scout. And she can have a big conversation like, I never know that you went on the subway when you were a kid. Like that was an easy thing to do, or you went to school that way, or that kind of thing. So
there was a really smart lady that you learned a lot from, right? The one that you helped dance from what'd you learn from her? A lot of different stuff, right?
You're putting her on the spot here.
I know. She's like, wait a minute.
And which of so many people, well, they've interacted with so many different people.
They have. And I was very particular before we got, we have to, when we're in the car, this is their first time coming on the radio. And she's like, well, can I say, I said, you cannot say any of the residents' names.
Yeah.
For their protection.
This is privacy.
So that part's privacy.
But that's kind of hard holding that in your head when you want to say, what did you do with who?
What can I say? What can I not say?
Exactly.
But you know what? That's the beautiful thing that you two are have this knowledge now at your age to know that.
Because in a couple of years, you girls might have to be taking care of
who? Who are you taking care of in a few years?
Me first.
Yeah. Us, and where? In Texas. Yeah, with bunk beds. And mom gets the top or
my grandson Isaac just passed me in height.
Oh, I know.
So I'm 5'11". So he's 6 foot now, whatever. He won't be 13 until October.
Wow, that's a tall one.
So I tell the hormones.
He has an uncle who's 6'9". So I said to him, I'm like, Isaac, just keep staying strong. Because when the day comes, I'm an old lady and I fall on the floor, you can just pick me up and put me on the bed.
Yep.
Yep.
It's an Isaac lift instead of a Hoyer lift.
Yes.
Touche.
Yeah. But it is interesting too. And I think that's another thing we need to speak to our children about aging. We need to speak to our children. I don't want them to be fearful of it. There's a lot of people. I'll tell you one particular story. So there was a guy that his wife was in my support group, and he had Alzheimer's, and he lives in Seattle, Washington. He spent a lot of time with his grandchildren, boating, hunting, doing all this stuff. And he just developed Alzheimer's. And his children didn't want to tell their younger children. For what reason? I don't know. They didn't want to tell.
Yeah.
So one day they're all hanging out, and the grandma finds the grandson behind the barn crying. And what's the matter? Grampy's always yelling at me these days, and even if I don't do nothing and I can't do anything right, and she said to her grandson, Grampy has a disease, and your parents are going to tell you all about it tonight. And called her kids and said, we're done. You need to tell your kids.
Yeah.
Well, when he came the next week, he saw his Grampy. He just hugged him tighter. And he knows that if his Grampy loses his temper or asks him something a bunch of times, it's okay. Because he knows.
Yeah, it's when you keep that secret.
You make it scary.
Yeah.
You know,
it's not scary. It's just people needing a little bit more help because there's something that's broken within them.
yeah, and we just have to talk about it. You know, my grandson comes over with his friends. They walk in the house. I go, all right, pull out your phone, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I go, then start watching some of those videos because you boys are going to be taking care of me one day. And they're like, oh. But a couple of weeks later, I see Josh in the supermarket, and he says, you know, Grandma, I thought that was kind of a joke about your YouTube channel. He goes, but I went and looked at it, and I showed it to my grandpa, and it's helping him with my grandma.
Because you're an influencer.
Whatever.
That's sweet.
But yeah, we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
No.
It might be a little bit
It's
of
a
scary
horrendous thing. Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
It's
It's
the
a
not knowing.
horrendous thing.
It's not.
And
knowing
so that's
scary.
why you have to address it.
Right. Right. And it's everywhere. I think if
Yeah.
there's 200 people live in my complex, I bet you 70, there's some cognitive impairment in one of the, in their house somewhere. Maybe that's a low number even.
I was just going to say 200, you're looking at 110, 115.
So it's here. Just talk about it.
Yes.
You know, I told a story a while back. I was in my mailroom and there were two ladies in there that I didn't know. And one lady opened up her mailbox and it was so stuffed, the mail all fell out on the floor. And she started crying. And I'm like, it's just mail. And I'm helping her pick up the mail. And she says, oh, with my husband's dementia, I can't even pick up my mail anymore. And the other lady says, my husband has dementia too. I said, you girls need to be friends and you need to be friends with me.
Mm-hmm.
And now I see them walking around the complex sometimes together.
Nice.
I saw them, the men playing their own game of pool.
With their own rules.
Right. And their own rules. And the two wives just sitting there chatting. So when we share, you know, on the back of my business card, it says the person I'm with has Alzheimer's and dementia and may not understand clearly what you're saying. You know, please be patient with them. And I give them out of my support groups and everywhere. And one time I gave some out of a support group, and a few days later, one of the gals called me and she said, can I have 14 more cards? 14? Sure. So,
Yeah, what's that number?
so I leave her 14 cards in an envelope by my house, and she comes back to the next support group and she goes, you know, those cards saved my life. I go, what are you talking about? Well, she lives in a mobile home park, and her husband's starting to wander in people's yards. And when he walks the dog, he's not always cleaning up the poo. So everybody's looking at him like, you know, mean.
Yeah, clean it up.
So she just went around and gave one card to every neighbor.
To let them know.
And they said, he can come in our yard. We'll clean up the poo. Maybe he would like some lemonade.
Imagine that, opening that box and communicating and talking.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just
For
let
dignity. For dignity.
When
For
everybody,
dignity of
when you
everything.
know better, you do better.
Yes.
Some people do.
Well, most people.
Oh.
I whatever. But it is true, because when you have a village. So Michelle, you have some things going on you wanted to talk about.
I do. I want to make sure that everybody remembers that Thursday evening we are doing the Painting for a Cause with GFWC.
What is GFWC?
General Federation of Women's Clubs, and it is the oldest and largest philanthropic in the world. This particular club, I think, is I've been a member a little over 20 years. It is being held at the Preserve at Dunedin, and all the proceeds will stay local. Amazing. So whether it's some of the money will go to Women on the Way for their scholarships for people going back for health care. Some of it will go to Thomas Brown's veteran homeless foundation. Wonderful. And some of it will go to Fluff Animal Rescue right here in Seminole. So, and also the food pantry. Come to this, text me at 727-641-5483. Such a great afternoon, evening.
Yeah.
Chef Bo will be making all the food for this. And
he makes good food.
His stuff is delicious. He's amazing.
Good cook.
He's a really good cook. Yeah, the girls are like, "Where's the crab croissants?" But they got to eat the Moroccan food and lots of good stuff.
Nice.
The other thing is every third Tuesday of the month at 4:00, please text me about the veteran support group. We are losing more than 22 veterans a day to suicide, and it's because they don't have a safe place to talk about what I can't imagine. Right. My grandfather was a Congressional Medal of Honor recipient. My father was in the Army. Veterans hold just a dear place in my soul. So I'm not allowed in these meetings. I'm not a veteran. I didn't serve our country. So I don't have, I don't deserve to be in those meetings. They are closed door for the veterans. Please text me 727-641-5483. You will be served great food and drink and have a safe place to interact as a veteran and have the support that is led by Thomas Brown, who is the head of the Patriot Guard, and just an incredible human being. There's no one who doesn't know Thomas, and if you don't, that's even a more reason if you're a veteran to come. He's just the best of the best, and I couldn't be more honored that.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about that too. I was trying to contact Robbie Brown because
Robbie's back in town.
Okay, so Jesse Brown,
who
does the Catalyst for Connection. So let me explain to my listeners who Jesse Brown is. I've talked to him about it before, but so Jesse Brown's dad lived in a memory community, well, still does. And one night, shortly after he was there, they called his daughter and said, we can't get him calm. We don't know what he's trying to tell us. We just can't help us.
The difference being,
So she goes to see her dad. And when you move into a community, you fill out 42 pages about what dad likes. And the first round of people read it, and maybe the second. You know how that goes. It's just how it goes. Well, as soon as she got down there, she realized her dad was trying to put together a softball game. He was a coach for 25 years. He was in the first Super Bowl.
Nobody picked up on that.
Yeah. He was in the first Super Bowl. Wow. So what she did was she made a QR code about her dad. And it tells you Tom Brown was in the first Super Bowl or whatever. It tells you that he's got 7 children. He likes horses. He was a coach, whatever. Just little tiny, tiny things. So she put the QR code on the wall by his room and put a note. Anybody who watches these videos, I'll buy you a Starbucks coffee. So everybody from the janitor to the executive director watched it.
Yeah.
Tom, you were in the Super Bowl? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So she has a company now. I'm just making one for myself now because I could be brain injured today, right? Yeah. I want people to know what I like, what I don't like, whatever.
True.
It is, it's so important, that technology.
Well, she has, so why I started this conversation, so she has it as a test in some memory communities, but she wants to do it free for a bunch of vets, and we can't find a connection.
Oh, well, you just found the connection. Okay. Thomas, call me after this, 727-641-5483. Robbie runs the
well, that's why I tried to connect Robbie. So one of them I figure.
We had the honor and privilege of having Robbie's grandmother at our community. God called her home 2 weeks ago. Yeah. He is on a respite with his family in Myrtle Beach. I believe he gets back today, and he is the incoming president of the Rotary Club of Seminole. Which Bernadette, I sponsored her, and Terry, of course. So you've just got all the players that just have hearts of incredible service. Yep. He's Purple Heart recipient, but he'll be back, right, so and we'll put them together.
We'll talk
we got
week.
It. We got it.
Good to go. Yeah, I did send him some message. Yeah, this is what it's about.
Nice, yes.
Yeah, take 5 minutes to talk. We haven't seen each other. Yeah. Happiness Fairies, thank you so much for everything you did.
Yes.
For all of the residents, literally for 70 hours since you got here.
Yes, you both.
Most kids went on spring break and did ridiculous stuff that doesn't matter, and you all
made a difference.
Made a difference in the lives of 85 people and their families. So thank you.
All righty, I have a couple other things I need to announce. So Sages plays with purpose.
Love her.
Next show is Phony Baloney. So we want to learn about scams. So it's Sunday, April 6th at 2 p.m. at the Central Parks Performing Arts Center. Saturday, the 12th at 2 p.m. at the Catherine Hickman Theater in Gulfport. And Saturday, April 19th at 2 p.m. at the Murray Theater at Ruth Eckert Hall. You can go to playswithpurpose.org. No, sagestheater.org. SAGESTHEATER.org. And reserve free tickets. It's great. You'll have a conversation about some stuff maybe you wouldn't have the conversation about. You'll be with a friend and you'll be poking each other saying, we need to pay attention to this. There's great sponsors, and it's just a great show, and it's fun. Nice afternoon.
It's a phenomenal
Then we have a veteran stand down for the homeless, which is April 5th from 9 to 1 at the Bill Young VA Medical Center. So there'll be housing information, homeless resources, women's veteran, employment support, a whole bunch of stuff. Bike giveaway, lunch, haircuts, and more. So if you're interested in that, it's April 5th from 9 to 1 at the Bill Young VA Medical Center on Bay Pine. And now it's time to hear from our wonderful partners, so don't go away. We'll be right back on Connecting Caregivers Radio.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Choosing the right chiropractor is an important choice to make. Located in Seminole, the Alexander Spine Center team is trained on the latest chiropractic treatments and technologies. At Alexander Spine Center, you'll find chiropractic and physical therapy care that is safe, effective, and a natural approach to pain and other health-related issues. Chiropractic unlocks your body's potential and natural healing process to ensure your life is a healthy life. We treat clients from the womb to the tomb. Call 727-397-3000 for a free consultation today, or visit our website at www.alexanderspinecenter.com.
They take good care of me twice a week, so check them out.
Arden Courts is not just a place to live. It's a place to call home. Residential living combined with quality caregiving. This is the philosophy behind Arden Courts. Communities created exclusively for individuals with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia who would benefit from a safe and structured environment. For additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides, call 888-478-2410 to locate a community nearest you. Inquire about our educational seminars, resource library, or support groups, or simply feel free to ask questions you may have about Alzheimer's and related dementias. At Arden Courts, we know, we understand, and we can help because memory care is all we do. Remember, call 888-478-2410 for additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides.
We believe the power of the human body and mind can do amazing things, and that tapping into that power, not just tricking it with a temporary disguise, is possible. Superpatch technology uses a special pattern and vibrotactile technology to help you go from feeling blah to hurrah. Now, once the Superpatch is in contact with your skin, it triggers a neutral response in the brainstem that helps you tackle your daily problems head on. Whether you're struggling with pain, balance, stress, or focus, we have a solution that might be right for you. With Superpatch's 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Hi, this is Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers. I started using the Liberty Patch over 3 years ago. I used to be a tripper, but since wearing a Liberty Patch, I haven't tripped once. The Liberty Patch is proven to reduce the risk of falling by up to 8 times. And as we all know, if you prevent the fall, you prevent the call. Don't wait until it's too late. Preventative solutions are the answer.
Superpatch does not claim to diagnose, treat, or cure illness. Superpatch is FDA registered. To receive 25% off your first order, go to sticktoit.info. That's sticktoit.info and learn more.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And we're back. And you guys know how I love Superpatch. You know, my
Me
biggest
too.
fear with my caregivers is over-medication and the fear of the fall. And Superpatch can help with both of those.
That technology saved Gramp
Yep.
from falls,
Yep.
and that technology not being on him, it's one of the reasons why in private duty world, every single one of our clients was given that technology. We got them the first set and then let them purchase it afterwards
Yeah, 'cause
because
they
it is
find out. They get the
100%
relief.
proven that it works. And you
So
know,
good.
you can either say that you're doing the right thing, or you can actually put your money where your mouth is.
Let's I tell you, you want to complain about it or you want to have a solution?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just tell me what you want to do.
Just tell me, are you looking
Yeah.
for an audience to hear your whining, or do you want me to tell you how to fix it?
Exactly.
Drug free.
All right, so I want you to go to lindaburhans.com to the Connecting Caregivers contest. So first of all, it takes you like 2 minutes to fill out the form. Every single caregiver that gets nominated receives a gift from me, whether it's a book or a journal or whatever it is. And that just delights them to no end that someone thought about them and how they were doing and wanted to do something for them. And then once a quarter, we just pick one name out, just randomly, because every caregiver is a winner to us. And they get a gift basket with gift cards and respite care and a massage and a haircut. And they have a choice of respite care from memory care to home health to adult daycare. So please just nominate somebody. You all know a caregiver. A lot of people that are listening to the show are caregivers. A lot of people that aren't caregivers, but they just listen to the show. And you know a caregiver. Call them up today. Tell them what a great job they're doing. When you go to the supermarket and you get the BOGO, just bring it over for them. Just do something for them, because lots of times it's hard for them to ask for any kind of help or to acknowledge that they even need any kind of help. So, and go to connectingcaregiversconference.com and register for the conference, May 6th, 7th, 8th. We'll have an elder care attorney, Sean Stott. We will be talking about Betty the Bold Chicken, lessons in how to care.
Like that.
We will have Rick Henkin, who will talk about caregiving without burnout. And I think it's so fabulous that we're having Rick, because it's a male's perspective.
Yep.
You know, mostly it's the women caregivers that are out there as speakers. So I'm really glad to have Rick as part of the lineup. So when you go to the conference website, you'll see all the speakers, you'll see the lineup, you'll see their bios, you'll see a little information what they'll be talking about.
But isn't it expensive?
Free to caregivers, thanks to our wonderful sponsors.
Really? Free?
Yes,
For
free.
real?
Yes, for real.
Do they have to sit through the whole thing in order to get it
No.
for free?
They can come as much or as little as they want. And if they can't even come at all, just still register, because within 30 days, you'll receive all the videos of the conference. So thanks so much for tuning in today. Remember, God loves you all the time, and have a delicious day.